you run a real strict program over here, and I feel like that when it comes to you, no one is bigger than what's that called? No one's bigger than the system, or I don't even think that's the right way to say it, but you know what I mean. People people cannot come around you with that bullshit. People cannot come around you. Hold on. Yeah, like they just cannot. If they want to come around you, they have to come correct. I feel like with the Hermit here, you're giving me somebody who is a self starter. You're so independent, it really pisses people off. And you probably think, like, why would that piss people off? Because people like to be needed. And when they come across a person who doesn't need them, right, you get to choose. I don't know. They don't like that. I feel like people love to feel like they have something to offer that no one else does. And I feel like that you genuinely have that, and so you recognize when somebody is just, I don't know, throwing you some bullshit like for an ego boost, right? They want your attention not because they necessarily want to build the relationship, but they want the attention simply because they feel like you don't pay attention to them. And it's like, you don't play into these games here. You don't at all. Yeah. Just as I said that, Seven of Swords, and it came out like sideways. I feel like that you are the game master. There's something here where it's like you just don't know, or don't know, you don't respond to things that I feel like you've already dealt with and known. So when somebody comes at you and a pattern from the past is like triggered, you recognize it. I feel like you just don't pay it any mind. If it's like an automated filtering system, but it comes through you totally ignoring people. And I have to say, it's pretty funny. It's actually kind of funny here because they'll be doing the most to get you to just, can you crack a smile? Can you get a little bit? And you just don't give a damn. Yeah. I feel like you're just above back and forth. I feel like you just don't do back and forth. I feel like you used to probably love a good back and forth. And it's not that you are totally just like, oh, I'm just so above that. But I feel like that you're not going to go back and forth with 99.9% of people on this planet. And I feel like for you to go back and forth with somebody, they'd have to be like this, right? And I don't know, people feel like that they're not like this. And maybe, I don't think they are. I don't think they are. I feel like there's such something about you where you're giving off a disinterested vibe, but it's not coming from like, what do you call that? Like a get back. It's genuine. It's genuine. You're so focused on something right now. It's just funny because people are speculating, you don't want to talk to them, so they can only imagine what you're thinking about them. But the kicker is you're not. That's why you're not talking to them in the first place, not because you're trying to do anything, but because like you're just that person. You're so focused that I don't know, nothing's gonna really break it, right? Like you're breaking your focus for maybe one person out of 8 billion, and you don't even know that person yet. So, with the Five of Wands, this is what I mean. Like you run that real strict program, and if they do not abide, they're booted with a no hesitation. And then I don't know why it's giving me like a cat. Oh my gosh, a cat. When a cat can like have displaced aggression. So basically, like I've seen so many videos of a cat seeing another cat outside. It can't get to the cat, so it starts attacking the owner. I don't know what that's about, but basically, if let's say some, because again, like the way that you are, like people want to get the scoop. People want to get the scoop, and I don't know what you'll either lie or you'll dance around a question to the point where if they do have to report back on you, it's just going to, I don't know, cause a triggering, and they're all going to start arguing with each other, especially if you start lying to them, which I don't condone lying, but that's still like peak comedy. Just you throwing out like the randomest shit. So when they say it, It's like there's no proof of it. And then if people bring it back to you, you know exactly who said it, and then you can call them crazy. And you're like, two can play this game. And we got the devil. That's what I mean by the strict program. I feel like when people get into a rebellious spirit around you, it triggers something else to where you're not going to try to hold them down. You're booting them, right? You're not here to convince a soul on why they should not cross you. I feel like you just let them find out, right? And I don't know how you're feeling day to day, but sometimes you might have words for them, but the vast majority of the time, I feel like you just bye, out of sight, out of mind. And I feel like this leaves people bound to that weird energy. And so it's like when they go back to from whence they came, right? They're bringing back a whole bunch of bullshit that was supposed to be brought to you. And I swear it's giving me a cat not being able to get a cat outside and attacking the owner. Lovely. Yeah, we got the fool. I feel like you're just kind of like on the other side of the glass and you're like, anyway, and then you're gonna walk off. The fool is somebody who is constantly renewing. I got vitamin A because it rules skin cell turnover, right? Accutane, I don't know. You're renewing. You're not, and like what Accutane is intense too. Like, and it works, but it also has the risk of like driving you insane. So it's like you have. That's how people see it. It's like if you weren't who you are right now, you'd either be like crazy because you walk like a fine edge, but it's really not. From their vantage point, it looks like you're walking on a tightrope, right? And without a care in the world. But I feel like there's something extremely calculated about you, right? And not in like a you're out to get people way, but you have a very good foresight, pattern recognition, and you don't just take risks to take risks. You're not doing something for fun, right? That is not a game with you, with the fool here. So let's see. You're just giving me like a professional, like somebody who knows what they're doing. Essentially, like people just from where they're at, it looks like you're crazy. It looks like you're crazy because you're doing it's not that you're it's like seeming like not based in reality. What I mean by crazy is something that is just like absurd that you're doing, achieving, you know, and that's why I'm comparing it to this tightrope and their reaction to like angry cats because it's like you have a circus going on. Like you are like the ringleader of I don't know. It's just like stuff emanates from you. I swear. It's like your energy will just cause things to happen. It's funny because it's like a social effect. It's a relational effect. It's like your energy really just gets it's like a party, but there's an element to it to where it's like again, if somebody's acting weird towards you, just a random shit. It's like bad luck. You're giving me that do you know from Teen Titans Jinx? That's this type of energy that you're giving me. I think that's her name. I think it is, but basically she could just like clap and then shit starts going wrong. That's just this energy. Look, we got this Two of Swords reversed. People think they know you until they don't. People think they got a good grip on you, on who you are. Because the Two of Swords upright can be about coming to clarity. It can be about like a mental image balancing. So I take that as like your perception of somebody being validated as correct. And I feel like your first impressions are not at all how people dictate or judge you moving forward. You are the exception to that rule. So it's like the rule is the first impression is everything. If you fuck up the first impression, people are gonna have a fucked up view of you for maybe not forever, depending on how long you're around them, but for a good while, right? It's gonna be exponentially more difficult to kind of like, you know, get chummy with somebody because it's like the first time they met you, it was like a turnoff. But with you, people will meet you and they don't get it, right? And it's like you're just so different. So it's like people automatically want to categorize, box off something like that, so that they can restore like comfort in their mind. But it's like you don't do that, so you cause them immense discomfort. And usually this should be enough to drive people away from you, but I feel like people get insanely curious about what it is, right? I find that to be really funny because it's again like topsy turvy. Sometimes people, it's like it's opposite day with you. I got this Seven of Pentacles, the World, and the Ten of Cups. Um, the Seven of Pentacles is funny because this is what I mean from a distance. People just see, like, do you see what even is that? Can you tell me what that is? Because I don't know. And that's how people are viewing you from a distance. They're seeing something. It's not, right? It's not, they're not seeing nothing. They're seeing something that just does not compute, does not comprehend. Um, think of it like this. Birds have four types of image cones, meaning they can see a whole dimension of color that the human mind cannot comprehend. Like straight up, birds see colors that you'll never be able to see. Like it's impossible unless you were to add a whole new cone into the human eye. So think about how mind bending it is to think of a color you've never seen. It's impossible. You can't do it. You'll never find an example in nature through the human eye. You'd have to literally become a bird to see some. So it's like if people aren't on your wavelength, if they don't have the eyes to see exactly what you have going on, like the method to the madness, they're gonna see something that just does not make sense to them, right? And they're gonna want to stay away from it. But also, you'll trigger that type of person who like they want to pick and poke, right? They're the type that like wants to see how something or someone works without the effort to get to know them, so they poke and prod to get reactions out of you so that like they don't have to do the hard work. And I feel like that doesn't work. There's a lock that cannot be picked because how, what, again, what even is that? And how are you supposed to provoke it? Anyway, we have the World here. And this is, I really feel like this is a very good card for your energy, like out of this world. It's type, it's like you're giving me the end of a movie where the character, I'll just give the specific one I'm thinking of. It's The Ninth Gate by with Johnny Depp in it, and at the very end, he's walking into that like light palace, and it's like you have no idea where he went, what happened to him, and people feel like you walk into like new vistas of life like this, like you'll shed skin, and then begin a whole new life that seems, I don't know, inaccessible almost. Like you do great leaps. And so people feel like that the leaps that you take will cause such a gulf in the relationship, or it's like when they knew you versus who you are now, that they would have to reintroduce themselves. They'd have to get to know you because you're out there. It's just like exploring new frontiers. You're just not limiting yourself. I'm getting a very like Brendan Fraser, The Mummy, I don't, that type of vibe. Like somebody who's just going out there and doing shit and discovering things, you know? And then that leads me to here, the Ten of Cups. This, I feel like if people really want to know what makes you tick, it is the emotional foundation. I feel like part the gratitude, the connection to self and spirit. There's a lot under the surface here that cannot be bought. It cannot be stolen, swapped, none of that. It can only be gained through shadow work, and I'll tell you why. It's not because it's supposed to be some tier above a person who can't do it. The reason somebody cannot bop off of your glow up is because it's so personal, and it's like that for everybody. Nobody's glow up can ever be the same. You can never copy somebody like bar for bar, word for, you know what I mean? Like you can never do that and have it work for you. It will never be the Ten of Cups. It won't even be the nine. It would be like the five. Like you'd have, because again, you're not that person. So how are you supposed to get the whole picture? You're only going to have part of it. right? While the rest of it is in front of you, because the Five of Cups is 3 cups spilled, two in the back. And it's gonna be just a mess. You're not getting that water back in that cup, right? But you have the bargain bin version right then and there. And like you are the full version, right? And it's irreplicable. It will not be copied because it can't. Because if somebody wants to copy you, they're going to have to be to like do the personalized tear down glow up process like you did, like the people that have also done what you've done have done, right? It's personal. It can never be copied. You can get a way marker, right? Like the entrance can be pointed out to you, right? But the cave shifts, the maze shifts as the individual who walks into it. You know, it changes like that, custom made. And so that's why somebody could never navigate your path and have it be meaningful for them. Right. And I feel like that leads us back to the beginning. You run a real strict program, not only you, but the spirit guides, the deities, all of it.